Hi, I'm Linda Roca, and I'm here at the Greenburgh Public Library with Hubert Williams, who's a photographer who has an exhibit here of images of jazz. And how did you get into photography? Did you study it? Did you just pick up a camera when you were a kid, or later in life? What?
Born in Fort Lauderdale, grew up in Brooklyn. So my first camera was a Minolta, and that's how I started. And that was in 1976, I believe, yeah.
Street photos.
Street photos, that's it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, looking around this exhibit, this is people, so you mainly shoot people.
I started with weddings. And then I went from weddings to fashion. I shot for a couple of magazines during Fashion Week. I did that. It was exciting, I loved it. It was strenuous, you know, very stressful. So I kind of got away from it because I was introduced to, you know what, I went where the paycheck was going. That's what I did.
Okay. But this is for a paycheck or for you? Because this looks to me like this is you, not a paycheck.
Well, you know, it started out as a paycheck. That's what it was. But, you know, I was telling my wife the other day, I said, when I was shooting this, I said to her, I said, you know what, I better start, you know, creating some shots that's gonna be for me down the road. And if I'm shooting for 2 hours, for an event for 2 hours, and I'm shooting in a performance, jazz artist, I'll make sure that I get at least 20 or 30 shots that's gonna be creative enough to be in my portfolio or in my website so that I can showcase, possibly to even for exhibit purposes or to sell, either one.
But you love the jazz. That's
it.
clear.
I do. I really love jazz. So I work for an organization called Harlem Opera Theater. And I worked with them for probably 17 years shooting opera. And you know, when I first started, I never liked opera. I just didn't like the sound of it. I didn't like the atmosphere of it. Because you're sitting in a place, you gotta be still, you gotta be quiet. And I did that for quite a while. Then after a while, I said, whoa, you know what? This is not that bad. So I incorporated the same concept about getting shots that's gonna be creative enough for an exhibit, something for me. So this is a result of something for me.
And over how long a period of time, the photos that we're seeing here today?
You're looking at least, I'm gonna try to eyeball the oldest shot in here. 25 years old, at least.
Okay.
A 25-year span.
Right.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the pictures? How about pick one on this wall?
Nat Adderley Jr. was the piano player for Luther Vandross for 20 some odd years. He was also an artist who was asked to perform for an organization called the Jazzmobile. That shot was taken Schaumburg Theater, that's right, Schaumburg Theater, probably 2008. Over here we have Wallace Rooney Jr. And Jazzmobile, I gotta put a plug in for them. They give free events every year. Right now they have a free event, it's called Sessions, and it's gonna be held at the Interchurch in Harlem, the second Wednesday of every month. They have a free event from 7 p.m. to 8:30, hour-and-a-half event. That was probably Wallace Rooney Jr. was probably taken there. So that's very recent. Now, this photo here was actually taken, again, probably in 2008, backstage. This guy here is the father, is her father. This was taken, like I said, 25 years ago. So she's probably, let's say 12 years old here. So you can do the math. She's no longer a kid anymore. And she also has a sister, which is older than her. Also have good shots of her. This was taken at Riverside Church 25 years ago. Same shots, those two.
So now, a lot of the photos that I see are very close up and focused on the face, in some cases the hands and the instrument.
Right.
I'm curious if, when you're framing the shot, you took the shot this way or you cropped it to this way?
No.
No.
I took the shot that way.
Okay.
I took the shot that way.
Fantastic.
The type of lens I use, I use a lens that's, I name it my workhorse. It's an 18 millimeter to 300 on a digital camera, which has a 1.5 or either 1.8 crop feature in it. So in other words, what that means is multiplied. So if I put a 300 millimeter lens on this digital camera, I know it's a little bit confusing, multiply 300 times 1.5. That's what I'm getting. So I'm at probably 450 right there. No cropping necessary.
That's impressive. So close, yeah. You also, most of the people are with instruments, but some clearly voice.
Right.
And across the way we have some dancers.
Right.
What also I found interesting in this exhibit is there's only one that's an exterior shot. So was this something that you just came across? You were on this space on the Hudson River, or you were photographing this musician and this just worked for you?
Well, I tell you what happened. She was actually preparing for the event that she was about to be a part of. She was rehearsing.
And you were supposed to photograph that event?
Right.
Yeah.
So she was, sometimes our musicians go off to the side and tune up their instrument, get familiar, just trying to get things balanced out. And that's what she was doing. This was taken in Brooklyn. It's in Dumbo, right? In that area. Okay. So there's a park in that area where it has a stage, different events. And again, this was all because of the organization called Jazzmobile. They held a performance. She was a part of that. And so she went off to the side and she was rehearsing, just practicing with her instrument. I said, whoa, there's a shot right there. With that in the backdrop, you can't mess that up. You can't mess that up. There you go. So that's how that happened.
It's a beautiful shot.
Thank you.
But it's called out clearly different from the others. Yeah,
it is.
And this one's interesting in that you don't have the face, you only have the hands.
Well, yeah, again, that's a part of the creative license that I just took advantage of. And those hands belongs to Olu Dara. Olu Dara, you may not know this, he is the father of a rapper called Nas. That was taken at the Schomburg 2008 or 2006, one of those times.
And how about the dancers? There are only a couple.
Alvin Ailey Theater, that's where that was taken. Alvin Ailey, and the name of the company, the dance company was called Dance Theater of Harlem. Taken at the Schomburg. And again, not cropped, with that zoom feature, just came on in there. I got the full shot of her. I got so many shots of her. But I said, you know what? Find the creativeness in a photo, because anybody can take a photo, just about any type of shot. But if you find the creative angle, the creative lighting, you can make something out of it. Yeah.
I love the fact that they're so blown up, and these have to have been so crisply taken to be able to blow them up and still keep them in good resolution.
Right.
It's amazing.
Right.
I mean, they're all so big, and yet they're all
That's something I wanted to talk
amazing.
about too.
Oh, so please.
Well, I'm responsible for the print of all of these also.
I meant to ask you that.
Yes.
So you're the printmaker
I'm the
on
print
all
maker.
of these.
I'm the printmaker and the framer.
Okay.
Of all of these. I never knew that there was so much joy into printing an image and then having it framed. It all kind of worked together, and it gave such a good feeling after you completed the whole process. I remember when I first started printing, I probably had a printer, a small printer by Epson. I knew then, when I first got that first printer, I knew then, after printing a few prints, I said, this is something I like, And then I went over to Michael's and bought a frame, which I spent a lot of money for, and I'm like, this is just overpriced. But I did, and then I started framing stuff. I said, wow. And of course I framed it wrong. And I'm probably still framing it wrong, but you know what? At some point it's gonna start to look good.
So everything though here was all shot digitally.
All shot digital.
All here. So 25 years you've been in digital, at least 25 years.
But you know what, the thing that I was telling my wife that I think that not many people do that I do, is what I just explained to you. Shoot, print, and frame.
Yeah.
I know one person that does that, but he's on YouTube. That's the only person I know that do it. I'm sure there's others, but in my circle,
yeah,
I'm the only person that do it. Mm-hmm. Ramsey Lewis, Aaron Davis Hall, really strange story that happened that comes with this. He was performing, and I was shooting, and I went off to the side to get different angle shots, and there was a fire extinguisher or something on the wall. For some reason, I leaned into it and I banged it, and it was so quiet in the theater. The theater was filled up with probably 200 people.
Oh no!
And there was a quiet moment in the theater, and I hit that thing, and clang, clang, clang. Of course, all eyes was on me at the time. I should have did a little dance or something. But that's the story behind that. Nancy Wilson, taken in 2011, I'll never forget this, because she said she was going to retire then. Well, she didn't. Anyway, it was taken in New Jersey, right off the George Washington Bridge. And very nice person. I think that was her husband playing behind her, the bass player. I think so, at that time.
So now these came all through your assignments, right?
Yes.
Through the organization.
Yes.
But prior to that, did you love jazz? Because that's what this all looks like to me.
I did.
So did you know a lot of the names of these artists?
I did, mm-hmm. Yes. I used to listen to Ramsey Lewis a lot, George Benson, who I never photographed, Chick Corea, oh man, so many more. Herbie Hancock, mm-hmm. who I did have I had the pleasure to be in a photo shoot with him at a rehearsal for an event that was going to be at Lincoln Center. I did that with Marcus Miller. Oh man, I was almost like this with these. Just being able to, capture a part of them, be it writing or photographing, it means a lot, mm-hmm. and it says a lot. And in this way, you show a period of time about them and about that time, about that person, and it stands by itself, Yeah. And it's long lasting. Yeah, 1999, I started my professional career. This was taken in probably 2002. So I was working with an organization called Fashion Arts and Exchange. And that was taken at FIT in the city. I'm sure mm-hmm. you know about FIT, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's where that was taken, let's say 2002. This is just a guy playing the bass, that's it. I saw the lighting, that's what got me, the lighting on him. Mm-hmm. And the thing about photography and shooting jazz, never use a flash if you can help it. If you use a flash, you're going to destroy it. You're going to destroy the whole moment. Because it's not natural. Mm-hmm. You put it, unless you know how to use that flash in a creative way. And creative way means you really have to know that flash. In other words, know how much light to put on a subject to make it look natural. Because a flash, you put a flash on the camera, hit the button, just go pop. You have to know how to reduce the lighting or increase it.
Okay. Are most of these in concert halls or in jazz clubs? I can't get the sense of whether they're in, big performance spaces or, small, smoky spaces.
No, most are in large concert halls or either outdoor theaters or indoor mm-hmm. theaters.
Okay.
Like that one of Nancy, that was in a huge indoor theater. This was in an indoor theater, FIT. Chris Bodie, Capitol Jazz Fest, 2007. Mm-hmm. That's Capitol Jazz Fest is down in Columbus, Maryland. Client asked me to just go along with them. I said, can I bring my camera? He said, sure, bring your camera. Was not getting paid for this. Mm-hmm. The shots I got with this guy, and actually I don't like this particular one because it's a little too dark. I need to bring it up a little bit. But I had it, I said, all right, let me just put it in. I've got a lot of shots of this guy. You ever heard this guy's music?
No.
You get a chance, Google Chris Bodie.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Now I noticed some of these have print numbers.
Right.
So do you sell your prints?
Yes, I do.
You do? Okay.
Yes.
So if anyone watching this show is interested in any of your photos, do you have information that we can give them to contact you?
Absolutely. Hubert Williams, Images of Us. Images is spelled IMAGEZSOFUS.com, or they can contact me at 917-375-0646. They're all numbered as far as how many prints.
How many prints?
Right.
So this one, you made 45. This is the 6th of it.
Right. Most of them are going to be up. I'll go as much as 45. I don't go over 45.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Now, this one here, Jimmy Heath. Jimmy Heath, who recently passed. When I say recently, I think he died about 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago. This was taken at Riverside Church, and this was a practice rehearsal.
Right.
Actually, that's what I called it, right? Rehearsal, yeah. Inside the theater of Riverside. Have you ever been to Riverside Church? Huge, right? Well, they have a theater area. That's where this was taken.
I saw Handel's Messiah there.
Okay. Wow. That's incredible.
A long time ago.
Okay.
Okay,
So what do you know about this guy here?
I don't know anything about this
Gregory
person.
Porter? That's another guy you should Google. Gregory Porter, this was taken at a, what did you just call a little smoky club?
Yeah.
That's where this was taken. Is at a club in Harlem called Showman's. We'll give them a plug too. Showman's in Harlem, 125th Street, 7th Avenue, something like that. Gregory Porter. This guy has an amazing voice. His whole presence about him just exudes the whole atmosphere.
And you captured it.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Thank you.
You definitely can see that.
Thank you. But right now, this guy, he's all over the world. Man, this guy's all over the world. Brilliant artist. Photograph of Ashford and Simpson that was taken at the Apollo. And anytime you're asked to come to the Apollo to photograph, first of all, you have to have the correct credentials to be there. You only get, I think, 7 minutes or 8 minutes, something like that. That's it. And it's always at the back of the theater. And if you use a flash, they're going to put you out. Number one. If you use a flash, you're going to get put out. At the back of the theater, so if you have the back of the theater and you got your traditional lens, it's not going to cut it. So I'm in the back, and there's about 2 guys on one side, 3 guys on this side. So there was a lady there. I should mention her name because she was never nice to me. Out of all the guys there were there, she came over to me and tapped me on the shoulder. She goes, "Hubert, time's up." I'm like, what about these guys? Time's up. Same thing happened to me when I was shooting President Clinton. Anyway, so I was at a certain angle, certain shot, certain position to get that shot of Ashford and Simpson. The guys on my left, the guys on my right, they wasn't there. They couldn't get the same shot.
Right.
They could have got something similar, but it would not be that same dead-on shot the way I got.
Positioning.
That's it. That's the story with that.
Right. Hubert, thank you so much.
Thank
it was
you.
such a pleasure.
Thank you, Linda.
So interesting.
Thank you.
In all your stories, and we'd love to see more work from you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.